beauty of working somewhere like here in the heart of the Essex countryside is just how it has such a lovely ambience, it's such a family atmosphere, and it just enhances one's creativity. I actually came across candle design by accident. I was touring around America and saw some of these candles being made there, and was lucky enough to be trained by a chap who was an actual craftsman. He was a very traditional craftsman, and he helped me by training me on some of the designs, and from there I've sort of enhanced the ideas and developed new ones of my own, and so increased my portfolio. By separating each layer of wax with cold water, I can put another layer straight over the top without losing heat out of the candle. If you have different temperature waxes, you'll end up with different size candles, so that's why it's all thermostatically controlled. Depending on how many times I dip it in the wax, it creates a different size stripe, a different thickness layer. Right, I'm just doing the top layer, which is always thicker, and I heat up my knife at the same time, and this will enable me to cut through the wax much more easily. It's a bit like the hot knife through butter principle, really. The actual original training that I received was approximately a 3-month intensive training course, and it needs to take that long just to practice, to get your cuts right. Well, I used to do a lot of art anyway, but I found painting was very restrictive because it was only 2-dimensional. And then I went on to sort of trying clay and other mediums, and I found wax. Whilst I was in America, I happened to see a chap making candles and thought that's a medium I'd like to use, and I was lucky enough to have a craftsman actually teach me, because you need to be taught the basic skills, and then I just added to the portfolio with my own ideas and designs. I always think up a new design and try and set it on paper first, because if you try to do something new on the actual candle itself, it will be hard by the time you know you're halfway through and you completely waste it. The beauty of these candles is that they're all handmade, so every one of them has got a little piece of my personality in there. It's not the sort of thing that could be manufactured in a factory or something like that. You can see it's already started to go quite hard, and it's being difficult to cut through. But this is the last cut. I do all my cuts first, and then I decorate it with the twists. I try and cover up all the joins, so that once the candle's finished, unless you've seen it being made, you can't really work out exactly, you know, what started where and what went where. Well, the type of wax I use on this is a completely different type to your normal paraffin wax that you use for candles. It's got special additives in it to make it elastic, so that it can be pulled and manoeuvred. The 2 different types of wax that I use are paraffin wax for the central core, and this has a lower melting point than the outer wax. That, coupled with the fact that I use a heat-resistant glaze to coat the candle with afterwards, enables just the inside to melt away and the outside to stay as it is. Trying to keep everything in alignment and balanced is perhaps one of the hardest things to do. Right, very nearly there now. I'll just tidy up all the loose ends. Check it's all in proportion. Make sure the top is all flat. And I cut the excess wax from the bottom and clear round by the wick. Now as you can see, the wax has got a very flat matte finish to it. Just get rid of that. So what I do now is I set the design in clear wax and then into the glaze. You can see how the glaze has already started to work. It's penetrating through that outer wax and lifting those colours. Right, that's finished. Now you have the candle. You may applaud.